Hey guys, I've just finished Yakuza 8, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I've got the Platinum Trophy in about 80 hours, so I've experienced pretty much all that this game has to offer, and now I just want to talk about my thoughts on the game. First things first, I want to talk about how polished this game is. I have not encountered a single bug or glitch throughout my entire 80-hour playthrough, which is rare for games nowadays. And on top of that, this game is the best looking game RGG has made. The scale of it is massive, and when it transition from evening till nighttime, holy moly, this game has some scenery that will just blow your mind away. Now, one thing that didn't blow my mind away was the OST. Now, the OST isn't bad by any means, but in Yakuza games, I usually get really excited for the entire soundtrack. But in this game, I was only really excited for a few songs. So it's still good, it's just not as great as I wanted it to be. And as for the combat, it's pretty much the same as 7, it's just that there's more classes. So the funky, silly animations, like summoning a giant tennis racket, utilizing the pound mates and the essence skills, they're still all very, very cool. So it's pretty much the same as 7. There's really no complaints there. It's a very simple system that's just fun, and it's like a good in-between turn-based and action combat. But the side content in this game is easily like the highlight. Holy shit. For Ichiban, the Animal Crossing mode, Dondoko Island, and the Sujimon Pokemon parody minigame, those two are just so well made, and they're just so fun to do, especially just as a side thing. It's completely optional, but they put so much effort in it. It's like a good thing to do if you want to break from the main story. And there was also the dating mini game that was absolutely hilarious. I wasn't that big of a fan of the sickle snap where you take pictures of perverts in the city, but to each their own. And then they also have the classic mini games that's reappears in every Yakuza games. And then Kiryu side stuff is it puts you on a nostalgic trip, dude, because it reminds you of all the things that Kiryu has done throughout the entire franchise, and it even shows you the conclusions to some of the plot points from previous games, and you just can't help feeling a bit emotional and nostalgic. And the sub-stories in Yakuza 8 is still fantastic. Let It Snow, my god, that made me laugh, and it almost made me cry. And all the sub-stories, in every Yakuza game, is very well crafted. Everything has a meaning to it. They put effort in their side content, and that is what makes Yakuza games so great. Now, one thing that actually disappointed me in this game was the boss fights. There was not a single boss fight in this game that made me feel like it was a really epic fight. And to some people I've read, they really enjoy some of the fights, but it just didn't hit that note for me in this game. I don't know. For some reason, there was some fights that were pretty good, but no fights were really up there, which was, RGG's known for their boss fights, and just none of them have really hit that note for me in this game. Not to say that there were bad boss fights. No, there just wasn't anything that was peak, which is what I'm used to when it always comes to new Yakuza games, Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the story, okay? So, non-spoilers, the story is, it's between Kiryu and Katsuga, and for the first 9 chapters, it was really interesting. You're just all this mystery and all this, it felt like I'm playing a great thriller. It was so exciting for the first 9 chapters, but once the mystery is unraveled, then you're just waiting for the story to play out. That's where the story kind of loses me. Now I'm gonna go into the spoiler territory, so if you care about spoilers, stop watching this video. This is the spoiler alert. Okay, so this game will blue balls you on a lot of shit, right? For Kiryu's section, if you finish the life links, here's Sayama, here's Haruka, and then it's the whole Daidoji points no, Kiryu has to still remain dead, But then Tldr channel already said that, exposed that Kiryu's alive to the entire world. So then it's like, why does Daidoji care so much still if Kiryu's identity got exposed? So then in the ending, Daidoji loosened their grip anyways. So then it's like, then why did they blue ball us so hard? Because then in the end, they didn't even show Kiryu meeting with anybody when he could have, you know? Like, where's the payout, right? Why didn't, if this is Kiryu's final game as a protagonist, why did they not expand on it? Let us see the interaction between Majima and everybody with Kiryu. Let us see the interaction between Kiryu and Haruka, and or maybe even Sayama visiting him in the hospital. Like, if this is truly Kiryu's final game, right? I feel like they purposefully did this because I don't think this is Kiryu's last game, right? Like, Kiryu looked awful in the ending, but so does every cancer patient that's receiving treatment. They look awful, but then if it's successful, they'll look better. I have a feeling they're not willing to let Kiryu go yet. I feel like they debated us. We all thought like this is Kiryu's last game, but it really isn't. In the future, I think Kiryu might come back as a protagonist again. I don't know, because if this is really Kiryu's last game, boy, they robbed us of so many interactions that they blue balled us for so long throughout the entire game of Infinite Wealth for the Kiryu section. And that's the part where I'm kind of iffy about. And they also did Ichiban pretty dirty, right? In the ending, I just feel like it was a scene where I was actually I felt emotions, and then they kind of just threw all of that out the window right after. Like, it's just like, oh my god, can't we just have like a good, you know, send off? Why does that always have to end in such a poor way, you know? And then like Chitose seemingly got away with everything scot-free. It's like, how? And then like there was no follow-up with Majima, Seijima, and Daigo. They were just there, and then that's that. And then it's like, they kind of like, there's so many things I feel like they should have expanded on, but then they didn't at all. It's kind of like the theme of the game. They just blue ball you, and with no payout. It's just kind of leaves you feeling a bit frustrated. Now that's just like, now all of this is an issue with the, you know, just the latter half of the plot. It's just not fleshed out enough, right? They just need to go a bit more in detail about it. They need to give some payout, but it's, I don't know. It missed the spot for me. The end is where it lost me, is what I'm trying to say. Does it ruin the game? No, of course not. Of course it doesn't. But it's just something that leaves you a bit frustrated, right? So now I just want to talk about the future direction of the game, where they're gonna go. And really, they can go anywhere. With the way the plot is now, you can sideline Kiryu and just make him a secondary character. You can pull some bullshit to bring him back into the limelight. You can replace Ichiban with literally a new protagonist. You can continue Ichiban. They can literally do anything, because right now it's kind of a blank slate. There's really nothing that's like grounding them to go in a certain direction. They can literally go anywhere. And one direction that I'm hoping they go there is changing the gameplay again. So maybe you can do Ichiban and their party, but instead of turn-based, make it like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or like the Tales series, where it's real-time combat, but you can swap between party members for the real-time combat. And at the same time, if you want to do turn-based, you can also do turn-based with the real-time combat. I think that would be amazing, because it'll once again keep it feeling fresh, because I'm not gonna lie, the turn-based combat is already starting to get a bit old. So this would, you know, I think it would be really interesting, because then you're serving both worlds. There's turn-based if you need it, and there's real-time if you want that. I think that'd be really cool to see. And in terms of lore, I honestly don't know. I don't know. Like, it's very clear that the Yakuza world, we're trying to get rid of it, and it seems like they were successful. I don't know. We don't know. We didn't get closure. They didn't expand on it, so we didn't know if what happened after Abina lost, right? So it's like, it's just I'm getting frustrated thinking about it, you know? They're like, just give us more info. Why can't you give us more info? Why are you so ambiguous about it? So anyways, this is my thoughts video. It went longer than I thought. It's just me rambling, just like I rambled at the end when I finished the game. It is what it is. I don't think anyone's gonna listen to it. It's probably not worth listening to. But yeah, this was the end of my Yakuza journey. I said I was gonna do one full playthrough upload. I do not know what I'm gonna do with the future of this channel, but I'm proud that I managed to stick with my words. And hey, I actually got some views on some videos. I mean, most videos did not get any views, but you know, who cares? At least some did. And it's like, I didn't do it for the views. It's like, it's just something I just wanted to do in terms to train myself to be a bit more disciplined, right? Stick with one thing, don't give up. Voice just cracked. And yeah, cool. Anyways, that's the end of my Yakuza Infinite Wealth journey. That was fun. I'm gonna miss this game a lot. I loved it. 9 out of 10.